Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium spirit navigator. So happy you've joined us tonight. I have on the screen with me my very good friend Kevin with Kevin's Loving Vibrations. How are you doing, Kevin? You doing okay today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Hey, Susan. Hey, everyone. Good to be here. Hope you're all doing okay. Managing during all of this stressful times, right?
Yeah, we're actually a little too gleeful for how crazy it is. But we were just talking a minute ago, and we've both gotten downloads in the last 2 days about July and August. So we
Yeah.
have not told each other what our downloads are. We don't know that. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Please go check out his channel. The moderators will be putting his channel in the chat. Thank you for doing that. But it's
Thank
also,
you.
his website is in the description, because he
Thanks.
has a great channel. He does this type of work as well. If you're new here, please subscribe to me as well. But just know that Kevin and I have been reading for years together, and we don't compare notes. We show up and we say whatever we get, and we respect that, right? Like sometimes it's
Yeah.
not the same thing, sometimes it is. And it's fascinating. It's always a great time to be here with
Yeah.
Kevin.
And I'll say with you, Susan, and I do other collaborations too, but what I really enjoy about our shows together is that we kind of get into this deep channel and play psychic ping pong, is what I call it. Susan will get a hit and she's talking, maybe something else comes in for that question or that reading, or maybe even just kind of another question. So typically I like to do a lot of chat questions, but I feel like with Susan, it's just the energy is so high. It leads to a
Oh,
really great show. Yeah, I always really
us
enjoy it.
together, it's like us together, it's pretty awesome. And it's different with everybody. Like he just had a
Yeah.
great show we were just talking about with Ness, an astrologer. So if you haven't checked out his show with Ness, everybody's different, right? You bring an energy with you. And
Yeah.
so it's just interesting how he says psychic ping pong, right? It's just different for us. So it's fun. Yeah, synergy. Thank you guys so much. Let's get going.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, hey, Touched by Tarot is here, FFA. Good to see you,
Yeah,
FFA.
Pepe. Good to
Talk
see
about
you.
another one. Listen, I will take a second and say, I know
Pepe.
everything is insane, but boy, do
Uh-huh.
we have the best psychic community. I mean, seriously. And
Yeah.
he brought us together, and this community is professional. They're prophetic. They're compassionate and empathic. This community has saved my life. I know that. So I'm
For
happy
sure.
for all the readers that are here supporting you guys, and thank you guys for supporting us, because that synergy is for real.
Yeah. It really meant to all come together and keep our vibrations high during these trying times. The one thing I can say that Felon 45 did that I appreciate is bringing us community of light workers together, right? The resistance.
Show them your T-shirt.
Yep. 8647 right here.
And I'm wearing black. I'm in mourning, so I can't even wear red anymore, you guys. I think I'm just like taking it out of my wardrobe. I can't do it.
You know what?
Um,
I will say, Susan, and I know it's been a trying year, last couple of years, but a really strong message I got from the guides right now is really do your best to just keep those vibrations high, especially when we're talking about, you know, global conflicts and everything just being really heightened right now. I think it's so best to put out that good energy to kind of combat some of this explosive energy that we're going through, and energy management for us empaths, all of us sensitives out there. You know, the self-care being so important right now, but just do the best that you can do to keep that channel of light vibrating really high right now. It's so important. And I will say the one, you know, we're all here as a community to kind of living and experiencing this together. So there's a lot of support and love coming in here. So
yeah, 100%, 100%. And hopefully you feel that in the chat, you guys. I know a lot of you show up and you know each other in the chat. You become friends in the chat,
yeah,
and no matter whose channel you're on, right? I mean, So hopefully that's also a community for you that you feel supported by. Okay, well, let's get down to business.
Yeah.
I saw a question in here. I think maybe we should talk about it for a minute, but I want to hear about your downloads. But I'm going to wait a minute because we start a little early. Like on the Pacific Coast, it's only 4 p.m.
Mhm.
and it takes them a while. I know when we do our lives, like 45 minutes in, people are rolling in, right? Like people are
Yeah.
gathering steam and coming in. So I want to wait for you to tell me your downloads until we have more of our
Sure.
crew here. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, two things I want to bring up. One is I don't even want to call it whatever they're calling it. I've decided that I don't want to Disney-esque this thing in
Right.
Florida. I don't want to make
Oh
it
yeah.
sound like something that should be put on a t-shirt. I think it should just be called the Republican Death Camp. That's
Yeah.
what I think it should be called. I think we should call it what it is. But do you see that right now it's flooding apparently because it's in a swamp.
Mm.
The highest part of the whole thing is like the road or airstrip or whatever it is. Do you see that really being used? Do you see that being integral to their system, their process?
Yeah. And I'll just agree. It's cruelty is the point with some of these people. They were all down there the other day smiling and all giddy about alligators eating people. I mean, it's just disgusting. The cruelty just amazes me. I do. I don't know. I don't want to say that it feels like it's integral to their plan. Um, I do feel though that they're going to start off, getting people in there, but I do feel legal challenges coming in, and I don't see them being able to use it for too long. Are you picking up
Yeah.
something similar?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting. It almost, how everything he touches just dies on the vine. It just breaks down. It's like that's what I feel like there's logistical problems with
Yeah.
this place. Number one. Number two, I think there is legal challenges with this place. So I'm not saying they're not going to use it. I'm not saying that they're not happy to use it or they're not happy to throw people into the alligators. Oh, the lawsuit's already filed with Fefe.
Yeah.
Y'all want to know what's really going on?
The
Y'all need to be
Fefe.
following a
I
Fefe and
don't
Touched
know.
by Tarot. If y'all are not
Yeah.
following her, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Okay. So there you go. I think, and for that, so my follow-up question is, and I was a little hesitant to say this.
Okay.
Don't get worried, Kevin. We're on my channel at least now, because when I'm on his channel and I go crazy, I'm like, oh my God, what did I just say?
We won't. We're
No,
not talking about Liz Cheney right now, are we?
well, what
Make
I
it
want to
clear.
say is I got this hit that they're going, and I hope this is true, but I want to get your take on it. And a Fefe's too. Anybody in the chat that wants to read on this, please do so. I got this hit that they're going to temporarily stop these abductions in
Mm.
August. They're going, there's going to be some, just like a temporary cease and desist or stop. And I don't know if that's a court injunction is the word I just heard, or if that's or really, I mean, at sooner or later, they're going to grab the wrong person and that person's going to be armed or
Yeah.
something. I mean, I keep getting that energy too. So that could also cause a stop in operations, because if the citizens start firing and then we've got like a whole mini battle on the streets, that could be a problem. So did you pull some cards?
I did, and I agree. I do feel like tensions and like escalating between both sides for the deportations, but then also like the protests. Um, there's going to be a lot of like internal conflict, is what I'm picking up. It's interesting because I do get the Four of Swords as the first card out, which is often having to retreat and come up with a new game plan. And some kind of completion here that leads to a new beginning with the Fool. There is going to be a lot, though. I feel cautious to say like it's all going to stop, because you have the Moon here, which is still kind of doing things in the dark. There's still hidden agendas here, but there is something that's restricting them. You have the Three of Pentacles here, which is all of them collaborating, on their dark deeds here. And then the Nine of Swords. So there is something to be anxious about in the future, whether that's retaliation. I don't feel like it's over, but I do feel like there's something that's kind of restricting them.
Right. It's not over, but I feel like there's
slowing down.
There's some kind of stop. And I think you're right in saying that these people are not following the law. So if a court did do an injunction, I mean, who's really going to stop them? So there could be some unequal application of that type of energy. The other question I have for you, because I saw something on social media just before about an hour ago, and when I see these people, these ICE, whatever they are, people, to me, I get bounty hunter. I mean, the energy that comes from them is not always, like, I know a lot of people want to say, yes, they're 3%ers or proud, whatever. I agree with that. But I really think I honestly get a lot of bounty hunter energy. Do you get that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, we know how much they're getting paid for it too, right? And I think in this big BS bill that they're about to pass, funding for ICE is going way up. So it just incentivizes them to do that. Yeah.
Right. Because they're going to go where the money is. Bounty hunters, they're just collecting heads. They're just collecting bodies for money.
But there are people doing it to go along with the MAGA agenda of, rounding up anybody that's not straight white males energy, anybody that's going to be part of that resistance to this regime.
Right. I agree with you. Yeah, it's insane. So anything you want to bring up?
I'll just say energy's so heavy right now.
I know.
But even though it's really heavy energy and turbulent energy that we're going through, July does feel a little bit calmer rather than August and September, which I think me and you have talked about. Now, that's not to say that nothing's going to happen and we can just take a deep breath of, relief. It feels like it's still pretty significant. But it feels like it builds up this anger, this fiery kind of energy that leads to action in August, September. Something I was getting for July specifically is a lot of water energy coming in. Could be floods. I do feel a lot of weather-related issues and, Earth, solar flare changes, all of that. So it being a pretty intense time, but it's also a time almost to, like I said earlier, disconnect, focusing on yourself, that energy management being so crucial. It's like emotions are going to be really heightened in this month. So doing your best to not be reactive, or allowing that emotion to overfill, take really good care this month. Because like I said, August, September, it's going to be explosive. But I also feel a lot of us light workers in July, and maybe this is where energy management, self-healing being so important right now. It's almost as if that sensitivity and intuitions really increase for a lot of us. I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of news that doesn't seem quite right to us. Like there's something here, like this is a lie. But a lot of intuitive hits and downloads, a lot of creative energy, healing energy kind of taking place this month. And it will lead to, like I said, more action resistance into August and September. How do you feel with that? Do you feel like it's more of like a heightened emotional month?
Yes. I want to just say hey to Karen, Little Blue Lotus Astrology, and to Kevin Lewis of the Healing Medium. So we got a full house tonight. We got some power players in the chat. You know what? I want to get your take on, because I still get it, but I don't understand it. But here's what I keep getting. In August, we're going to have like a sigh of relief, but
Hmm.
but that comes after, you get scared the bejesus out of, right? Like you're like, thank God that didn't happen, right? Like you when the car almost hits you and you're like, thank God, and you're kind
Like
of
we dodged
shaky.
the bullet. Yeah.
What?
I don't know if relief is like we dodged a bullet,
Yes,
but I don't
yes,
know if relief is the word that I'm seeing. It feels very explosive, fiery, um,
yes.
passionate, but and heavy. It feels very heavy, but there's also a very strong element of hope coming in.
Yes.
So
That's
maybe
that's
that's
the
the relief that you're picking up. Like I said,
that's
relief is the word that's coming through to me because it's not going to be easy.
Well,
um,
it's that I agree. See, I think you and I see this is the thing. I think that the average person is going to see it as hope, or they're going to be gleeful. And I think
mm,
that us that know too much, we're going to be like, yeah, let's not count our chickens before they're
yeah,
hatched.
there's a lot of
We are
escalating
we're
energy.
reserved, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of people who are like just really happy, or just this sense of relief,
Yeah. Okay.
like
Yeah.
something didn't happen or something is over. Now,
Mm,
August, you nailed it with the energy astrologically, because that's what I was saying is August felt like electricity, and well, July actually, and into August feels like staticky electricity, and that
mm.
is the astrology.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah.
like lightning bolts and things. So,
Huge things coming
certain
out.
people could short out.
Okay. Hmm. That's why we have to maintain this month and really do that work on ourselves so that we're all
Right.
feeling up to August and September.
That's right. So the only one that shorts out is the one that's supposed to short out.
Mm, yeah. It feels like, and this could even be part of July too, but definitely August, September. Like the electricity for me is almost like that download of information and a lot of secrets and things that have been hidden being revealed.
Yes.
There's illumination coming. And maybe that's part of this relief, this excitement, but then also there's anger with it too. It's like it's actionable. We've had enough, That's the energy that we're getting into.
That's what I see with these bounty hunter people, whoever they are, is
Mm,
the people are going to go, it's just like the pot boils over. The all of a sudden they go from being passive videographers to a pile-on. Um,
mm,
and so some of those things, that might be why they bring that operation back. It might not be an injunction. It may not be a court case. It might be that they bring their operation back because they're getting, attacked or
yeah.
whatever.
People have
Um,
had enough. It's like,
People have had enough. We're getting
mhm,
real close to people
yep.
have had enough. And people are starting to believe now in those communities, starting to get it, that this is really happening. This isn't just happening to one person in one city or one state. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah. And definitely in the US, but globally too. I mean, it's a collective energy that's coming in for us for sure.
Absolutely.
So
So
that's where part of this awakening is happening, where people, you know, unfortunately, we could talk about the big BS bill if you want to, but sometimes people have to hurt or go through adversity to really get that wake up call, for that clarity to kind of set in, so that we can, you know, figure out what we want and where we're going, and then change that direction if need be, right? If it
yes,
was all easy and everything was sunshine and lollipops every day, we wouldn't be learning a whole lot. There wouldn't be that growth and and that evolution that comes through some of the trauma, some of the turbulent energy. Um, so yes, I'm feeling a lot of people waking up with those lightning strikes, as you put it.
yeah. Barb's Wheel of Fortune says she understands many Americans won't be celebrating the 4th of July. I mean, I think that's absolutely true.
Mm,
I'm not saying, I don't think we're at a point yet where parades are canceled. I don't think we're at a point where you're gonna see a wholesale, very recognizable, but I
mm,
think that it's enough that it's a light crowd. People are choosing to stay home and maybe cook out in their backyard, or I just feel like collectively we're depressed. That's what I
Yeah.
feel like. I feel like we're just depressed. We're not in the mood to party. We're not in the mood to buy anything. We're not in the mood to celebrate.
Yeah. Well, and it's pretty symbolic too. 4th of July, um, the declaration of our freedoms, our Constitution, all of that. And it's all being challenged right now too. So there's a very somber energy to it. Um, it's kind of like we're at a point where we get to decide, are we going to stay a democracy? Are we going to have a strong constitution? Are we going to put guardrails in place so that all of the abuses of power, everything, can't be challenged in the future? We're doing a lot of going within as a country and really reflecting on what direction we want to go to. So yeah, I mean, I get that.
Yeah, we're going in because we never thought we would be here. We're actually in
Mhm.
shock.
Yeah.
We're actually in shock. Like, is this really happening? Like, we really took it for granted. And I will just say this, white people, we took it for granted because we haven't had this kind of treatment. We don't know what this is like. So we're the ones that are like, holy cow, you're going
Yeah.
to take away our Medicaid. You're going to take away this. You're going to come for me. That we are the ones who are kind of in shock. And also some of the immigrant communities that really believed in, sadly, the truth of what they thought America was, that they
Yeah.
really believed that that green card had some meaning, right?
Mm,
Whatever their status was that was legal had some meaning, and now people are being disappeared. So
yeah.
everybody's in shock, literally just complete shock.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're kind of collectively as a country really reflecting in on the direction of our country and where is it going to go. Is our constitution and democracy over? Are we heading towards an authoritarian king?
Well, do you
um
think we are? I mean, what is your
no,
energetic feeling
i
about it?
I feel like all of this is happening um so that we can rebuild and make our constitution even stronger,
Right.
to put those guardrails in check. Essentially Donald Trump's um ran on the message of draining the swamp. He's exposing that through his own actions and through um, MAGA's actions. And not to say that there wasn't, corruption with a lot of like the corporate politicians too, but no, he's showing um, all of our weaknesses as a country so that we can put those safeguards and guardrails in and make our constitution stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Do you feel like we're going to, how do you feel about the midterm vote? How do you feel about that?
Oh, I mean, I feel like all of the suffering that's taken place so far and things that they want to do, like I said, it's going to wake a lot of people up, even those that voted for him. Now, I don't want to. I'm going to be cautious with this. I would be surprised if Trump's even in there come midterms. I feel like his reign is over sooner rather than later, and I think that goes into this August September energy. Yeah.
That's what I get to. I shared it on Threads. I pulled cards for him, and if he was
Hmm.
going to be in office in September, and I got the Tower, the Devil.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I mean, it was the worst card pull that I've ever done for anybody, and I was like, thank God I didn't get those cards.
And
Um,
speaking,
but
we're in the tower moment right now. The tower just jumped out as I'm shuffling cards.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And with the
So yeah, I
tower, it's
got
some
the
sort of.
Three of Swords, the
Mhm.
Tower, the Five of Pentacles, and the Devil.
Oh, okay. So kind of breaking down and probably exposing a lot of,
The
um,
addiction, the grift.
yeah, a lot of that anger, a lot of the corruption. The tower isn't a bad card. It's a very uncomfortable card. The message with the tower is often to let go of control and go with the flow, because it's essentially crumbling what's not no longer serving us, what's not built on a strong, solid foundation for us as a country. So it needs to be exposed so that it can crumble, and it gives us an opportunity to rebuild a strong and stable future. It can bring in that spiritual awakening. It can, bring in that awareness for people too. So, but it's very chaotic, unstable energy too. So it's not easy to navigate. And I think that that's kind of where we're at. And like I said, August, September, the Tower feels like a very fitting card for us.
So, Kevin and I have been reading together for years. We do
Yeah.
every month. We do a reading together, my channel, his channel. And even last year, we were getting this message, both of us, that there was some delay in the presidency. And it was weird. It was really weird about the presidency and someone being in office. And we've since talked about that. And so let's just play devil's advocate. I'm not trying to give anybody false hope. Honestly, I'm not. We've been through hell and back. Psychics have been on the front line. So I'm not trying to tell you that everything's going to be fine. However, the energy suggests that he could take this opportunity to go visit the great McDonald's in the sky. If he did that, we would have JD. Now, the other interesting thing about JD is that none of us, and without even watching each other, because there's only so many hours in a day, I don't know anybody. I don't know, maybe one person that thinks that JD is going to finish the whole thing. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like
never seen him getting in? But I will say, if something like that were to happen and things are still being exposed, if he does get in, it will not be for the rest of his term. It will be very short-lived. But I'm not even feeling that, to be honest with you. We've talked about this in the past, Susan, where it's very unprecedented times. We both could see a possibility of like a coalition government of leaders. Maybe it's past presidents, maybe it's but bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans having to step in until we can either figure out what happened in this last election, for entertainment purposes only, the manipulation of tabulators and, the steal. But then also, do we do that, or do we just have a new election? It's very unprecedented.
And the energy is just insanity, you guys. It's not, in the past, the energy would coalesce. It would just be so much clearer. And right now, it's like 52 cards.
It's hard to read through all this chaos, fiery, explosive energy, isn't it? And it's also, we're seeing possibilities of things too. I will say the one thing with Trump is that, and free will, is that he's so indecisive. He doesn't really have a whole lot of a plan. He's just very spur of the moment. So kind of tapping into his energy and seeing what he's going to do. He's so unpredictable. He's so unstable. It's hard to get a clear cut vision of where things are for sure going.
Yeah. If he doesn't know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Really and truly. So let me ask you this weird question. I did a video a while back about the potential of the White House being BOMB ED, or somehow maybe it's even just it springs a leak and it's not usable. See, that's the thing about energy. You have to look at all the potentials for what you saw. It could be that it's ruined because of a fire that was perfectly innocent, right?
Well, it could be symbolic too. The White House.
That?
It could be symbolic too. If
Yes.
you saw an explosion.
It could be symbolic.
And I'm not necessarily feeling like an attack against the White House per se, but it could be that whole regime in the White House, an implosion happening there, which is more so what I would say. I will say I do agree, though. It doesn't feel like it's the White House, but I've been saying, and I would say, especially with the holiday weekend and all of that, be very careful, especially like on the East Coast, because I am seeing some kind of attack. And maybe it's not this weekend, but it's
Transportation
coming.
wise, or some other way?
I don't know. I see an explosion, is what I see.
Okay.
It could be something underground, like New York City. Maybe it is even necessary, DC. To me, New York is resonating really strongly. So make sure that, if you're going out to protest, and I've seen some issues with that too. Just bring in that awareness. Something doesn't feel quite right. Something's really unsettling, like I shouldn't be here. Make sure that you're honoring that guidance that you're receiving. And just make sure that you're a lot more observant of your environment. But I do feel like something around, I don't know if it's this weekend with the holiday or if it's with protests, but I would just be very cautious, especially like I said, Northeast coast. I don't like to fear monger. Hopefully if there are plans for that they're foiled and, somebody gets wind of it and all of that. But yeah, the energy just feels so explosive for this summer.
That's right. And I think that's astrological.
Mm.
Things just flare up, it just blows up and then goes down like a little fire that blows up and then gets put out. That's kind of what I see as these little flare ups or big flare ups, right? And I want to say this too, because when Biden was in office, I said all the time, he is the intel president. He really loved intelligence. He loved working with those people. He valued them. He got a lot of extra briefings. Well, we know this president, it's been reported that he doesn't like that. They've tried to find other ways to present the information, including having some sort of Fox News type show that would give him
to brief them. Like a puppet show for like kids.
But I want to say this though, because I did get this yesterday, there are people embedded in the FBI, the CIA, the ATF, whatever they are, the alphabet groups that are patriots that will foil, that will, like you said, like we read the energy suggests this is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, it could be that a good person foiled it, just flat out somehow made it fall apart.
Yeah. And I don't say things like that to fearmonger or to put everybody in panic. That's actually the exact opposite of what I'm here for. But it's also just bringing in that awareness and being cautious and being prepared for those possibilities, right? Let's all, like I said, raise our vibration and send protection to big cities, for protests, that kind of thing. But don't live your life in fear, but just, like I said, use your intuition, be aware of what's going on, be very observant.
And I think James brings a really good point here. He says, I don't think the new building for the seat of our government or administration should be named the White House. It denotes racism in and of itself. And the White House was built by slaves. So, and you can see Stephen Miller wanting to 86 that, right? And you could see how this energy on either side could be problematic for that. And it's in a really old building on top of that. So I think there could be other types. What I've learned during this administration is that the energy wants to manifest. And it's going to manifest one way or another. It might manifest as a metaphor. It might manifest as a real physical. You know what they're showing me is the fire at the plantation. That was a metaphor, but that was a physical thing. That hit the energy. It checked all the boxes, right? It checked all the boxes. So we'll see how this energy manifests, but it's certainly there.
It could be karmic too. Wasn't one of the old wars, War of 1812? Didn't they burn down the White House?
Yes, they did. And I think we would have to ask one of our wonderful astrologers, if Karen is still here. But there's astrology energy around these historic dates. Meaning the planets are back in the same place in the sky during these same historic dates. It's like, Spirit's like, okay, you get another chance to understand this energy. Now, 100 or 200 or 400 years later, you can, like the French Revolution, like you can, how will humans deal with this energy now? Like, for
Yeah.
instance, the 1940s with, Germany. How will we deal with this energy now? It comes
Yeah.
back
Have we learned
around
our
for us
lessons
to have
from
a
the
chance.
past? Have we
What's
learned
that?
our lessons collectively from the past? Or do we have to repeat it? You know?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. If FA said one way or another, I'm going to find you, I'm going to get you. The Blondie song, the cosmic vibes are strong, and
Yeah.
they're really strong around that. To me, they're really strong around a false flag.
Yes, I agree.
Anytime he starts slipping in the polls or he gets, some kind of unwanted attention, he does something, right?
To
To
distract us, right? To distract us, to deflect of what's
distract you.
actually going on. And I've actually, that was something that I saw for July when I was meditating on it. Some kind of false flag to incite, some of the global conflicts.
Do you
But
think
I
it'll
also,
work?
no, I don't. I think we're too aware. Like I said, this is what's going on in July. They're giving us all this false information, and something just doesn't resonate as truth for us. Something doesn't feel quite right with it. That's why I said use your intuition. You're going to have those heightened senses this month. You're going to be able to kind of see through the BS that they're trying to project on us.
Do you this was a delicate question, but
Okay.
do you feel like the MAGAs also are having, not all of them, but a certain subset of them are having a little bit of an awareness, a new
Mhm.
understanding of the truth? Or
I don't know if we've gotten there yet. I do feel as we go forward, more and more will wake up. Some have, but I will say a majority of them have not woken up yet. But that's the energy that we're going into. I think that the illumination, um, that wake up call, like I said, them being able to kind of see through a lot of the BS.
yeah. And that's not going to be pretty if you've ever yourself experienced a situation where you've learned that a trusted friend or your boss or your spouse had a big, betrayal of your
Yeah.
whatever. That's a time when you are crushed, when you feel like you can't trust anything and you're embarrassed, and you know what I mean. That, just imagine tens of thousands of people feeling like that, right?
Mhm.
And then I feel like they're going to get angry and they're going to
Oh yeah,
get in the streets.
I agree. Yeah. But and maybe that is part of the reason he was able to get in there too. Because can you imagine, um, you know, had it been revealed before he was inaugurated, it would be January 6th over again. It would be civil war in this country. It's like it sucks for a lot of us that have been able to kind of see through a lot of the
Yes.
see through all of his BS and know what kind of person he is. But um, a lot of his cult followers weren't ready at that time. So sometimes we have to go through these adversities to get those wake up calls. Sometimes we have to learn the hard way, unfortunately, right?
Well, and I know everybody is saying we already learned. Why do we have to wait for them, right?
I
But
know.
that goes back to what Kevin said in the beginning. We have to. We're
Mhm.
on the bleeding edge. You're all intuitive. You guys all have massive intuitive abilities. We see this train coming down the tracks. It's our job to get off of the tracks, to
Yeah.
get away from the damage of that, and to take care of ourselves so that on the other side of it, we have some kind of mental health and physical health to be able to step in and guide and be a voice for our new government, our new whatever it is that we're going to
Mhm.
be doing.
Well, and it's a lesson for us too. I think, not allowing fear to consume us, not allowing somebody to have power over us and dim our vibration, but to keep that faith, trying our best to rise above, so there's collective lessons in this. But I do ultimately think as more and more people become aware, it's going to start to bring us closer together, that sense of community, because we're all going to have to rely on one another to get through all the turbulent energy, right?
True. That's so true. No Medicaid, no FEMA.
Hmm.
God only knows what else. It really is about community
Yeah.
and figuring out like how it's just like if anybody's been through any kind of natural disaster, you're not really looking at somebody and going, are you a Republican? You're going, hey, do you need a ride? I have water. Let me give you water, right? It gets stripped down to the human level. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what this is doing to us, is at some point we're going to realize we're humans and not one of us is better than the other. And we're all in this together because
Yeah.
of them. We're going to learn who the real enemy is.
Absolutely. And Mark said, Mark Brisbois makes a good point. He says a lot of us took our freedom for granted. Absolutely.
We did. We didn't know, right? Like, I mean, we just laws work. People abide by the laws. And but I will say again that minorities or anybody that's not white, they got a whole different level of justice
Oh, for sure.
that I didn't see. So they've
Mhm.
been experiencing this. Truly. They've been unjustly arrested and
Yeah.
unjustly held in jail because the whole pipeline to prison profit thing. So they have experienced it. Now it's our turn. And that's why I think it's
Mhm.
our turn to get on the protest line. It's our
Yeah.
turn to be on the front lines.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Susan. Hey, can I ask you a question? um, just kind of going off topics. I will say our last show, you were on my channel right before my trip. And Susan and I were on it about a lot of the stuff going on. And then like the next day, the Twitter war between Trump and Elon happened and all of this crazy energy into June. And now they're at it again. What are you picking up with
Oh
Elon
my
and
God.
Trump?
It's bad. I think it's bad. I think that it's crossed some kind of line
Uh-huh.
into like I'm hearing bad blood. At one point, the guides called them the Hatfields and the McCoys. I think it's bad, and I think it's also a power play
Oh, for
because
sure.
Musk is going to lose a lot of money that he can't afford to lose. He's not. I don't think he's as rich as people think he is.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't. And I think he can't afford to lose all of these government, subsidies. And no one shares a stage with 45.
Hmm.
No one. Look at,
Yeah.
my God, look at Rubio. Do we need to send help? Should we just say blink 3 times if,
He
they've
looks like
got
he's on
your nuts
Catholic,
in a
doesn't he?
vice or something? I mean, are you afraid to move? What's happening?
Hmm. Yeah, I see the friendship being over. The tower, the implosion of the relationship, and now backstab and betrayal here.
Do you
I
think
do
oh, go ahead.
I do see at some point Elon leaving the US. I don't
I
think
did
he's
too.
deported, but
But do you see him leaving in the back of an ice van?
no, I see him fleeing,
Okay. Yeah.
running away.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think that Trump will get rid of some of his government contracts. It's going to really. Elon knows a lot. He's got a lot in the vault, and I do think a lot of that will start to come out.
He knows way too much. Do you
Mhm.
feel like Elon will ever divulge something about the ELECTION that I
Mhm.
can't say, otherwise
Yeah.
bad things will happen to this channel?
Right. Yes, I do. I do.
You think
But I
he'll
don't.
divulge it
I do, but it's going to take a while still, I think.
like a
Because he's
year?
got to have some kind of security. I don't think it'll be a year. I don't think that implosion of their relationship has gotten deep enough where he's going to implicate himself into something until he has certain assurances that he's safe. But I do see that, yeah, and he's already alluded to it, right?
I mean, do you think he can stay safe? I mean, really, because there's windows everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
those people they're vicious, right? I mean, they radar lock on and they'll track you until they. I don't see Elon being so steely to
Hmm.
outsmart them. So, I mean, do you think he could stay safe?
Well, that's the thing is when I see him having to go, it's almost like a mob is coming after him with their torches and pitchforks. That's how my guide showed me it. Like he's running for his life. So No, I don't think he feels safe.
Right. Okay. I saw him being ruined this year. I said it last year. He's going to be ruined this year. I have seen him fleeing.
Mhm.
Um,
Losing a lot of
but
money.
yeah, losing a
He
lot
already
of
has,
money,
but he's
being
losing.
ruined. I mean, I think he's financially ruined. I think he's his reputation is ruined. I think he's ruined all the way around.
Yeah.
It's a spectacular fall, is what the guides just called it.
Mm. Fall from
But
grace.
fall from grace, but also from everything. I mean, really.
Yeah.
So if okay, so I'm gonna hold on to that energetic thread
Mhm.
because I'm gonna see if I can speed you down it. So
Yeah.
if if Elon flees, when you're in that energy of him fleeing, who's president?
The first thing that came to mind, and I don't see him being president. It doesn't feel like it's Trump. Maybe it feels like it's Vance. Maybe that's when the steal comes and he's out. What are you feeling with that?
Very interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, I feel like the felon is the reason he flees. Like I feel this man. I'm telling you, when I go into his energy, he is angry. Like his
Yeah.
chest is out to here with anger towards this guy. So I feel
There's
like
something.
that's the reason why he leaves. But I think
Mhm.
it all some things happen in a quick succession.
Yeah.
Perhaps
And I feel like Russia's involved with his fleet too. The Empress came out, which is often my Russia card.
yes,
Truth and justice. Yeah.
yes. Do we have enough mods? Is everything okay? I can make more mods. I just need to go over to YouTube to do it.
Mhm.
Okay, y'all are good. Okay. Um, yes. And is it like a series? Do you see like more than one event? I mean, with him fleeing, do you see other events around that, or just that's the one thing that makes the headline?
Oh no, this isn't just a one issue kind of thing
Yeah,
that takes
exactly.
him out. It's like there's like 10 things going on.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
say
Yeah.
too, I was picking up for August or for July and going into August. I think we're going to see more global conflicts with what's going on in the Middle East kind of unravel. I almost feel like too. I wouldn't be surprised if China starts harassing and starts getting aggressive with Taiwan again too. Feels like there's multiple different areas there, but it kind of feels like with these conflicts going on, I actually feel like a lot of um, government officials and allies kind of turning on each other, and it feels like it's connected to Trump, like those that he really works for, like Putin, maybe Netanyahu. It's like the relationships are over, and maybe that's where a lot of this information starting to seep out of. Also, I'm feeling a lot of there's a whistleblower or hackers releasing corrupt military intel, something like that coming up towards the end of the month too, which may be part of this falling out, or collusion with adversaries, that kind of thing. Have you
Which
been
is
seeing
treason.
similar energy? Yeah, it's treason.
Yeah. It just feels like boom, 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 like
Yeah,
almost like falling down a stairs, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like a series of events that cause multiple things to happen
yeah,
at the same time. And I think at the time, what they're showing me is we're not really capable of understanding the significance of all of it because it's
mhm,
too much. Like, so we
yeah,
just focus on this one thing. And we kind of really don't pay attention to all the other things. Maybe like
yeah.
it's China coming after Taiwan, but then Elon is fleeing, and we're like, well, we're just
Like
going to focus
so
on that.
many things going on that they want to distract us from the truth and
Yes,
a lot of
that's
this
also
big
true.
bombshell coming out.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Well,
that's
and like you said too, possibly like a false flag kind of incident.
yes.
which is kind of what happened when he sent in planes to get the nuclear facilities, right? It's like, let's look over here so that we're not talking
Yes.
about Epstein list or you know, I don't know, so much going on. It's all a diversion tactic.
It really is. It really is.
I see
Including the
NATO and
alligator, the
mm,
alligator thing. That's another diversion. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying it's not reprehensible, but I'm saying that when they do something like that, you almost want to look the other direction to see what
mhm,
they're covering up.
yeah. I do think though, with this big intel share of um, like cooperating with adversaries, I do see NATO having a big response to it too. Like Carney in Canada feels like he's furious, like he's on fire. He's really standing up to Trump and a lot of our European friends.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Artist Liz says something that Kevin and I predicted last year. Kevin and I both predicted at the same time, unbeknownst that we were going to say the same thing, that we saw the Republican Party splitting. I think I see it differently than he sees it, but the outcome is the same. And again, that goes back to the energy. This has made me a better reader, a better understander of energy, because you really have to get into the fine details of the energy. You can't just paint it with a broad brush. But Artist List says Leon said that he wants to start his own political party. He already has a name for it. Is it the American Party? I don't know. He has a name
Something
for it.
like that. I don't
Yeah.
see him being successful with starting his own party. However, like I said, I do see the Republican Party fracturing, splitting into two. Um, we're already seeing that, but more so when Trump goes down. Um, the Democratic Party is not is going to fracture too, and we're seeing all of the stress in that party. And I do agree. I do feel more of an independent party that's focused in on like the environment, um, you know, good social progress, and being open for that, but also maybe being a little bit more financially conservative, but more targeted towards the youth. But it doesn't feel like it's Elon Musk's party. I'm not feeling
No.
that.
Like a Labor Party? Could you talked about it, the environment. We've had a Green Party off and
Mhm.
on. Would you feel like the Labor and the Green parties could come together, or does
Maybe
this
it
feel
feels
like,
as a similar feel to the Green Party, but it's not the Green Party. Maybe it's like a coalition with the Green Party. Yeah.
maybe that the environment is just one of their platforms, one of their
Mhm.
strong, like these are the things that we're building this party
Yeah.
on.
But it does kind of have like a very innovative, tech savvy
Yes.
feeling to it as well. So
I need to ask you a question about that because I'm getting
mhm.
chills and I don't know why. Um, what do you think about Mamdani? Do you think he's could be in? I mean, do you think he's a sort of an avatar for what that party might be like? Are
No,
you familiar with
I
him? Have you
think
seen any of his? Have you guys seen his videos, his commercials? Because if you haven't seen him, you've got to watch him, because this is not somebody that's like any zero, no Democrat that I've ever seen. The way he can be serious, he can be tough, he can be screaming against ICE, and then he can be goofy and funny and dancing at the Pride Parade. I mean, wow, a person that has all the emotions. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
I think I just froze up or I lost you for a second. I see Mondavi being part of this new Democratic Party and the direction of that, not this independent party, third party. Um, he's going to fight the establishment in our party, and that's what we're seeing right now too. The people, Democrats aren't really happy with their leadership. They're wanting somebody that's going to fight for them and meet the moment, and not write strongly worded letters to Donald Trump. Like, no, get up there and fight, be part of that resistance, right?
Fight
him,
with us,
Jasmine
fight for
Crockett,
us, you know?
AOC. There's this fiery energy coming to the Democratic Party that I think it's needed for a while. Really getting on top of that messaging, holding MAGA and Republicans accountable for what they're voting for, standing up to that.
I think you're right. I think we want somebody. Well, I kind of feel like that about Tim Walz too. Tim Walz gets out there and just says, "This is bullshit," right? Like he
Yeah.
just says what it is. And there's a few Democrats that do that. My favorite is Jasmine Crockett. I watch her. I will watch her videos for an hour. She explains things so clearly in layman's terms that makes sense to all of us, and then drops the truth bombs on you. She's just amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah.
What do you see for her future?
Jasmine Crockett? I see her staying in the House for a while. Leadership in the House is what I'm feeling. I'm not feeling president with her, although I think she'd be great. I'm not seeing AOC as president either, which a lot of people are kind of putting energy into that for 2028. I could see AOC being like Speaker of the House, or even being like a majority leader in the Senate. I do see AOC kind of going back and forth. She may move to the Senate, maybe go back to the House, be like Speaker or something like that.
Really? You see her moving to the Senate and then coming back to the House in a leadership position?
Going to the Senate, but I do feel like she's so young still too. But as she grows and as she's in there for a while, I do see like Speaker of the House, something like that, or majority leader.
Those two women are amazing. I mean, we really do have some great Democrats, but we've got some real duds that we've got to get rid of.
Well, and that's what we're going through as a party right now, right?
Yeah. Here's some breaking news.
Somebody to challenge the establishment, for them to start to change and to realize that they have problems with the direction that they're taking, right?
I don't know. Maureen is saying news is coming out that the bill isn't going to pass the House and has to go back to the Senate. I don't know if this is fully baked news. I don't know if this is like still a developing story. But I would just tell you guys that I think Kevin feels the same way, but obviously I want you to say what you think. This bill is going to pass. Whether it passes in its current form, maybe not. And I do think it's going to pass with some real horrible things in it. This is important. Like Kevin said earlier, if you're just now joining us, this is important because people need to see. They need to feel this. They need to feel this pain. The only people been feeling any pain are non-white people. The MAGAs certainly haven't been feeling any pain. They need to feel the pain.
It's in a bit of a fight, but I do see it passing.
It's in a fight right now. Okay.
Passing. Can I say though, I don't know why these Republicans ever shock me, but I was actually a bit surprised that it was Murkowski that voted for it and not Susan Collins. Maybe it gets renegotiated in the House and sent back up to the Senate. I wouldn't be surprised if it misses Trump's deadline, but I see something being passed.
That's why he would go to a false flag.
Yeah.
Because if he can't get, he's already told the world his deadline, and if he can't get it, then he's going to have to pull another lever. He's like, okay, I have to go over here and pull this lever to get my.
Does anybody take his deadline seriously though? I mean, how many? Does anybody take his deadline seriously? He was supposed to get in there. He
does. He takes them seriously.
He was supposed to end the Ukraine war on day one, and
yes, yeah, and remember, C-19 was going to be over by April. Yeah. Remember?
I don't know. To me, what the false flag feels like, it's because there's a lot of secrets being exposed rather than his agenda. But there could be a lot of heavy energy kind of going on like around the 4th, like we were talking about earlier, maybe other things kind of coming out and trying to distract and divert attention from that too.
It just feels like things start falling apart towards the end of July into August, but that could spark them to become more vicious to cover it up, right? When you're feeling vulnerable, you're going to fight harder. So that could be what you're seeing. And in the astrology is really very, shock, electric kind of energy that's happening. Yeah, it's
something else that I feel like maybe like this false flag too is as all of this horrible things that we've been through and more things be exposed, it's not just one single thing that takes him down, it's everything collectively that he's doing and more to come. I see him doing something and really taking his power too far that even Republicans condemn him. I don't know if that's trying to send the military out on people protesting against this, because that protest energy is going to continue to build, and that resistance movement's going to continue to grow. I don't know if that's it. It feels like there's multiple things involved with that. So it could be multiple false flags. I mean, we already kind of had that though too. I mean, when he set planes into Iran to take out those facilities, it was pretty reminiscent of weapons of, MD.
Mass destruction, fake ones. That's what I kept saying. This energy is of that same energy. This is a ruse. This is not real. Yeah. Do you feel like all of this, how do you feel like the American oligarchs are feeling? How do you feel like the CEOs of, Home Depot actually came out with a statement saying, he didn't say we're sorry, but he said, we take all this seriously. And actually in regards to the boycott. So when the CEO says, I'm responding to the boycott, they're feeling the boycott, right? So I want to know, how are all these CEOs, the robber barons is what I call them, how are they feeling? Are they feeling the heat of not being able to get workers, of people not buying things?
They feel betrayed. They're not happy with Trump.
They feel betrayed.
Betrayal is what I just heard.
Let's drink some tea.
And I think that they're going to be part of this fighting to get him out of there too.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Financial deals, and he's not living up to his end of the bargain. He's dismantling everything and causing chaos, manipulating things, stealing, and they're pissed. Ace of Wands.
I think they're the ones that are going to take him out.
Yeah. Well, and you could even put Elon into that, right?
Well, they're a big opportunity. This is a big energy that is, and those people can call Roberts. Those people can call Alito and say, we donated your plane. You know what I mean? Like, they really can, and say, you're going to do this for me. Now, I don't know anymore if Roberts cares, because I think on the other side, Roberts and a lot of these Congress people feel like there's never going to be another VOTE. So we don't have to answer to you. We don't need your money. We're going to be making our own money. So that could be the betrayal too. Like, hey, we've been paying y'all, and now you're not doing what you're voting against us. Right? So that could be the betrayal that you're picking up, which I never put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. I do see the support, the money, the agreements and partnerships ending. There's isolation there too. I don't know. I still have hope. And I know that it's like we were talking about the Supreme Court and how they just let him get away with everything, or they don't take up certain things. I mean, kind of just give him unlimited powers. I don't see that actually being the case. I do see the Supreme Court, and like I said, he takes something too far that even not every Republican, but a handful of Republicans actually stand up. It's very similar to like January 6th. How short-lived that was, standing up to Trump and not kind of getting back on the Trump train, right?
Because Pence stood up against
Mm-hmm.
him.
And we're gonna
Pence didn't leave the Capitol. Of all the men who has no spine, he found it and he installed it and he used it for like, that day. So do you think Vance will betray 45?
That's a good question. We have always said, me and Susan have both been in agreement from even last year when we were reading, that Donald Trump did not choose JD Vance for his VP. The oligarch and those really in charge wanted somebody stable in there. So at some point they could get him in with his base. He excites his base, and then get Vance behind their agenda that they're looking to pass.
Yes. Right.
And I do feel like, should the opportunity arise, Vance would step on Trump and backstab him in a heartbeat. All he cares about is power.
Yes. And he knows that seat is his. It was promised to him. So he's waiting. He's just waiting and waiting and waiting. Right? And I got last year, I kept getting that ad tu, Brutus, that Caesar, that betrayal you're talking about.
And there's an issue coming up with Trump and Vance too.
Okay.
A power struggle for the emperorship. There's a fight, them standing up, having a pissing match against each other, negative judgment coming through, harsh words. It feels like Trump's really beating him down and then walking away. So something big's coming in with them. I don't know when. It may be a little while still before that relationship crumbles, but yeah, like I said, Trump, Vance is an opportunist. Trump doesn't like anybody trying to take his spotlight, anybody stepping on his toes, anybody trying to tell him what to do. Yeah, something's coming in. And maybe it's even when Trump falls, Vance is doing those power plays. There's a power struggle between them is what I see coming up.
I feel like I see Vance, maybe it's metaphorically, but pushing Trump down the stairs. It could be metaphorical, but Vance is getting tired of waiting. He wants his crown. He wants his power. He was promised it. Why does he have to put up with this? This is a bunch of BS. And then here's the thing I just got, right? So as they pass this bill, and the MAGAs are like, wait, what? Like, we need our Medicaid. We need these things. They feel betrayed by their king. So they start, once they start, even 20% of them start fighting back and protesting, that's going to give Vance his entree, because the only reason Felon is in there is because he's got the cult. If you take the cult away, he's got nothing. And then he's very vulnerable and weak. So once the cult starts turning on him, that gives Vance the chance to push him out of the way, because the cult doesn't like Vance. So he does.
Well, exactly. I was going to say, do you feel like people leave Trump, you see them going over to Vance? I don't see that at all.
No, I don't see them going to Vance, but they won't fight Vance for Trump, because now they're mad at Trump and they're just going to walk away. They're going to be like disillusioned. So that gives Vance the room to take it over. He doesn't have people fighting him. They walk away. It's win by default. Like, I don't know, the guides are saying when you win a game by not default, but maybe by default. I don't know. Like, the other team walked off the field. Well, it's yours. You won it.
Yeah, you won by default. Yeah. And you know what, though, too? We both have said, too, Trump's not in good health right now. So he's kind of an easy target for this takeover plan. Yeah, I do feel like there's an ending to that relationship coming sooner rather than later. We've also said, too, I've never felt impeachment being an option for removal. I guess if he stays in there long enough, then yeah, it would be. I always felt like maybe it's like the 25th Amendment or the health. Does the cabinet go behind with Vance because Trump is, cratering or incapacitated?
See, if his base doesn't love him as much, that gives Vance the room to say, you know what, he's mentally, cognitively declining. We're going to have to take Paul out and put him in, in the facility, which Medicaid isn't going to pay for.
Right, exactly.
And then the base would be like, we don't care. We hate that man. He screwed us over. We're done with politics, right? That's what I always told you guys they would say. We're done with politics. They're all bad. They're just going to walk off the field.
Yeah. But it's interesting because if like I said before, I don't see Vance as president. If he's in there, it's a very short time as things like are transitioning. But
they think he's going to be. I mean, their energy suggests that they.
Plan.
But
it's
I don't
a plan
see.
to keep him in there. I don't see it either. We'll see. Interesting.
But the problem is we don't know how we get to the next step because constitutionally, it would go to Johnson. And
I don't see that either.
I don't see Johnson in there. So there's obviously a blank space that nobody is because we're reading the energy, right? It hasn't been decided. Nobody knows what's going to happen, who's going to be in space.
Definitely unprecedented times that we're entering for sure. Yeah.
Did you talk about all the hits that you got?
We shared a lot of them. The global conflicts. I'm feeling a lot of fiery energy. Like I said, a lot of emotional and water energy too. So, solar flares, earth changes, weather issues, lots of flooding with that. I wouldn't be surprised too if this explosive energy is like a volcano or a big earthquake coming. I can feel that like in my gut, something big happening with like a natural disaster. To me, it feels like it's in Asia. What else? We talked about alliances, relationships with Trump falling, lots of like military secrets being exposed, whistleblowing. I think we got a lot of them. I do keep seeing a ship being struck too, something around a ship.
See, I saw that too.
In the Middle East.
I saw that too. I saw the Nimitz. I got a little bit of a freak out session this week because I don't know where this nickel came from. I mean, I just moved. So, I mean, things are coming out of things I have not. It's a very, very old nickel. And I think it's from 1941. So to me, these are signs. Like, I don't keep old coins. 1941 was I think Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
And I got Pearl Harbor a while back, metaphorically, because it could be an attack on American soil. I got Pearl Harbor and the Nimitz. Well, guess who's steamed over to Iran right now is the Nimitz, which they were going to mothball. I mean, this is a ship that's very old, obviously.
Yeah, well, they're going to retire it, I think.
They're going to retire it, right? But so when I hear the Nimitz and I get, Pearl Harbor, and then I find a coin, and then I get all the messages, signs just start piling up. And I was kind of freaking out about it this week, actually, this war energy, because this fits, right? He wants to do that. He in his energy, he wants to be Napoleon. That's what I just got. He wants to be a war monger leader.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the Nimitz could be a false flag. What I got was a ship. This was months ago. I don't know. Time is relative. But a ship got hit in the bow or the stern. I don't know which. But anyway, it got hit. There was like a hole in it. So what did you get about a ship?
I just see a ship. It looks like it's on fire. I didn't see it sink. But
I don't see it sink either. I don't see it sink. It's there with I'm seeing a picture of it floating with a hole in it.
Yeah.
So was it a Navy ship or just or a merchant
It
ship?
felt like it was a Navy ship, but somebody did ask me if it was a Nimitz, so maybe they were watching from your channel. I didn't get a decisive yes on that. It just felt like it was significant, and maybe this
Yes.
false flag kind of thing too.
It's not a absolute, but the energy is chasing it. It's like it wants to manifest, but I don't know if it's 100% going to manifest, but it's
Yeah,
trying, certainly
I
trying.
see seeing a lot of things to do with ships, though. I feel like China may be aggressive with Taiwan, putting their navy out there to kind of intimidate. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there's a tax on all the gas coming through that strait by Iran too, attacking boats. So I keep on getting a lot of emphasis on watching ships.
Let me ask you this question. Do you see a limitation on gasoline on like lines at the gas pumps or an increase in price or something?
I do see prices going up. To me, it's not like skyrocketing, but I do see them going up significantly. It feels like over the summer for a month or two.
Oh, for a month or two. Okay.
I
But
don't
you
see
don't see a
gas getting
limitation like a
$10.
lines at the gas pump?
I wasn't picking up lines or like a big shortage, but I did see prices going up. I'm not feeling, well, I'm in Ohio, so gas for me right now is about $3 a gallon. I know on the West Coast it's a lot
It's
more.
like 4, almost 5. Yeah.
I could see
And in
prices going
Texas,
up
it's probably
4 or 5.
250.
I could see prices going up a couple dollars. Like for me, like $4 or $5 a gallon, which is still pretty
That's significant.
significant.
4 or
Yeah.
$5 a gallon in the middle of the country is significant.
It feels like it is very short-lived though. Like I
Okay,
said,
so like a spike.
it's a spike and then it goes back down. So if
Do you
they
think
maybe
that's
if they close off that strait or attacking it, it could be like a temporary thing. Is what I'm feeling.
that's what I was gonna. It's 279 where you are. Okay. Well, you know, guys, I think the gas is going to go up, and if you
Yeah.
have a commute, that could really cause some financial issues for you. So, how do you feel about the economy? How do you feel about the economy? That's all I can
I do
say.
pick up something. I've never personally felt economy crashing, but I do feel like there's definitely challenges. I do think Trump's going to start his trade war BS again, and inflation's going to go up. It's going to cost more layoffs. So I don't know if it's like a slight recession. That seems short term to me. It does feel like it gets stronger towards the end of the year and into next year specifically. But I
The
see something
economy
coming
gets
up with,
stronger.
yes.
Okay.
But I see something with the stock market not crashing down, but going down probably because Donald Trump's trade war.
Oh, I just
doing.
felt it in my stomach. I just felt my stomach. Like when you're on a roller coaster and your stomach drops,
Yeah.
I just felt my stomach drop. Wow. So, but that's a stock market that it's
I see it going back up eventually, but
temporary crash, or it stays down for quite a while.
I don't think it's going to go down for a while. I think a lot of this is to manipulate the market so that he can make some money.
Right, right. Do you feel like and I won't keep you too much longer.
Okay.
When he goes to the great McDonald's in the sky,
Mm.
do you see us? I mean, you could talk about your experience, but I'm saying, do you see people getting into the streets and celebrating? I'm just asking a question. It's just a
I know.
question.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm too compassionate, even for somebody like Trump. I never get enjoyment out of somebody else's suffering or their
He's
own
not
demise.
suffering,
I
Kevin,
know.
honey. He's not
I know.
suffering.
Oh,
His
God.
suffering is over. Our suffering is over. All of our suffering is
I
over.
do. I don't. Well, we'll put it this way. I don't think there's going to be a huge crowd of people going to honor him at his funeral. I do. I see some dancing in the street. We'll say that.
Okay.
There's celebration here. 3 of Cups. Three of Cups, yes.
There you go. Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like when when your city wins the Super Bowl or wins, the World Series, and people shoot off fireworks and people are like, wow, and screaming and dancing.
I know,
Just,
probably unpopular opinion. Everybody in the community will be dancing. I'm
I
just
would be
saying.
careful. I would be careful because we don't know what kind of crazy people live around you that might take offense to that. So I would maybe just go in your closet. It's just dancing there or something.
Well, I mean, do whatever you want to do. I just
There
feel
you
like,
go.
karmically, not to say I won't be relieved when that happens, but I'm not hoping or wishing for that, something bad to happen. Even
No,
if I
I'm
don't.
not wishing. I'm just saying. I wonder what would happen.
Susan Lynn's going to be here with the champagne, popping the cork when that happens.
Who is? What?
That you're going to be popping the cork live when
I don't know. I have two minds. One, I don't want those people to come after me because they do, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to give anybody any extra fuel to use against me, and they would do that. So I may not. I may do that privately. But I'm with you. I think I
Everybody in
would
the
be more
chat wants to
relieved. It's
know.
almost like a bad illness. You know when that thing
Mhm.
makes your stomach so upset that you really want to throw up, and then you
Yeah.
throw up and you feel better? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's a good point. Everybody in the chat saying I'm popping the cork too, so I
Okay,
don't
well,
know.
good.
People want to celebrate with us, I guess, when that happens.
Well, right. We'll do a private invitation only, but everybody will have the link.
Right.
Unlisted thing. Yeah. Anything else you wanna talk about? We've been on for an hour and 22 minutes.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of the current energies. Like I said before, everybody, just make sure that you take really good care of yourself. Keep those vibrations up. Try your best not to get sucked into all the fear. Don't allow somebody else to have that power over you to put you in such a fearful or angry state. Do something creative. Do something that you love to do. I love going out, going into my garden, connecting to nature is really healing for me and grounding too. So everybody just take really good care. Like I said, energy is significant for this month, but it is going to definitely be heightened in August and September. So
Do you feel like around the holidays of the end of the year that we're going to feel better? Does the energy feel like we're feeling better, or we're still in this?
it doesn't feel quite as heavy, but I do feel there's still kind of like a dark cloud hanging over us, I think. I think that there's going to be a lot of healing that needs to take place when he's gone.
Well, it's going to be uncertain, you guys. I mean, if he's gone and Vance is not in, then we're going to be in a really weird, uncertain time. So that could be the dark cloud.
Yeah, well, Five of Cups, it's grief and loss. There's still some challenges that we're overcoming. A lot of us feeling oppressed by the bully, judgment calls, the steal, feeling betrayed. So there's still heaviness there, I think, towards the end of this year. Feels like it gets better more towards like summer of next year.
Nice.
It's like a transitional period is what I'm feeling. And it's probably going to take a while to get everything in place because it's going to be unprecedented.
Totally unprecedented. I'm telling you, we read energy, and no one has an idea about what's going to happen that we can read.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read their energy because they don't know. They don't know what is going to happen. And I really think it's a matter of push come to shove at some point, right? Like he said, we can't take it anymore, and this thing happens, right? Like it's just like you just have to push over this edge.
Yeah. Well, and that's I definitely feel like August like we've had enough. Power to the people. We're standing up. We're calling out the BS. We're all out in the streets protesting. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to heat up quite a bit this summer. So yeah, just take care of yourself, you guys. If you go out and protest, always please keep your wits about you. Always know an exit, plan. Don't get
Mhm.
stuck in the middle of the crowd. Stay on the ends, on the edges, so that you can exit if you need to, and listen to your own gut instincts. And
Yeah.
just take really, really good care of yourself. Okay.
If I can just add one more thing before we wrap up, and it's not easy to do, but it's a balancing act. So do your best to observe what's going on because we all signed up to be here at this time. As challenging as it is, but it leads to a lot of positive change and movement going forward. So it's actually pretty exciting the time that we're in. But do your best to observe, not absorb. Don't allow it to consume you. Um, it's going to be so. That's why I'm saying, you know, get a massage, do something that's relaxing for you. Go hang out with friends, watch a funny movie, do something to lighten up the energy. It's going to be so important to navigating the storm that we're in. Yeah.
So important. I love that. Don't absorb. Why are we
Mhm.
sponging all this nastiness into our systems, where people like Kevin, who's a Reiki master, have to remove it from us, right? It's
It's
gonna
a good
make
time
us.
for Reiki if anybody's interested in that. I have ID treatments. I got classes going on next month. So
We're gonna be keeping you guys busy, but don't absorb it. Like let it just, you
let it
know,
go.
don't let it touch you. Think of it as sewer water, and don't let
Mhm.
it touch. It doesn't help those people that are experiencing the extremists of this administration by us becoming completely inoperable because of
Yeah.
our mental breakdown.
Yeah.
We're not helping anybody, right? So I think Kevin's right. Unplug, take some breaks. It is horrible, but at the same time, there's still babies being born, puppies being born, kittens being born. There's still good things that are happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, we all have these emotional reactions and responses to what's going on. Like I said, don't allow it to consume you, but you can use that to motivate you to act or see how you can be part of this resistance. Do something about it. Don't just feel like we're hopeless and we're stuck and it's the end of the world. It's not, you know.
Right. Yep. 100%. I couldn't agree more.
It's always so much fun, Susan. I look forward to when the energy lightens up a little bit, and I don't know. It's like we don't have to read on so much heavy stuff, but it's important because I know everybody.
I'm ready
You
to
know,
go back to reading on MTG.
yeah. Well, I don't know.
You know what I mean? The only
It's
fun
my
thing we
time
had
in the
was
war on
Elon, and that
Wednesday,
wasn't even fun.
right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Handmade pizza with watermelon. What? Okay, that sounds seeded watermelon. Okay, that I could go for that. Frankly, that sounds interesting. Have at it, Kathleen. Homemade pizza and seeded watermelon. I love it. All right, everybody, take really good care. Let's celebrate our country's birthday in whatever way that you want to. Just
Mm.
take good care of yourself. Thank you, Kevin, for coming on. If you guys are new here, please subscribe, like, comment, share if you think this video would be helpful to somebody you know. And please check out Kevin's channel. His information is down in the description. Thank you to the moderators. Yay.
Yeah.
And yes, and we'll see you next time. Kevin and I do this every month. We switch off on channels. So next month we'll be on his channel. If you subscribe to us, you'll get a notice. And we hope to see you then again. All right. Take
I
good care,
look forward
everybody.
to it. Look forward to it, Susan.